Before we get into today's edition of Just the Truth, let me tell you about the latest special from Mike Lindell at MyPillow. The standard MyPillow, normally $49.98 for a limited time only, just $14.88 with promo code Joey. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials, and see all the specials. There's a limited quantity of just 10 at this special price. That's $14.88 with promo code Joey. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studio. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. With FBI Director Christopher Wray announcing that he will step down before President Trump is sworn in on January 20th, Trump says Wray's resignation is a great day for America, saying Kash Patel is the most qualified to lead the FBI. A new Fox News poll shows a month after Donald Trump's presidential victory, more voters feel positive than negative about the election results. We have the details for you today. A New Jersey Congressman says drones over his state should be shot down, while federal officials don't seem to be concerned about these unknown aircraft. And Senator John Fetterman made a serious social media move this week by becoming the first Democrat U.S. Senator to post on President-elect Donald Trump's platform, Truth Social. What did Fetterman post? We'll share that with you in today's show.
I told you we'd be back.
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
It's Joey Hudson.
I wanted to name it the Joey Hudson bill, but, they don't allow you to put names on bills. But I wanted to call it the Joey Hudson bill because I know that one's been near and dear to you for a number of years.
That's how it's done. Let your voice be heard.
And the truth shall set you free.
Here's Joey Hudson.
Some breaking news. FBI Director Christopher Wray has announced his resignation effective January 2025, and President-elect Trump is calling it a great day for America. Trump told Fox News Digital that Wray's departure will end the weaponization of what he's calling the Department of Injustice. The president-elect didn't mince words, saying, under the leadership of Christopher Wray, the FBI illegally raided my home without cause, worked diligently on illegally impeaching and indicting me, and has done everything else to interfere with the success and future of America. We all know there's no love lost between Christopher Wray. You got to remember that Trump appointed him initially. The director of the FBI is appointed for a 10-year term. There's been speculation on whether or not Wray would resign and allow President Trump to appoint a new FBI director, and it appears that he's doing just that. Here's where it gets kind of interesting. Trump's already looking ahead. He's promoting his nominee, Kash Patel, as the most qualified to lead the FBI. He's promising to restore the rule of law for all Americans. So who's Kash Patel? We've talked about him a good bit since his nomination. He's a Trump loyalist with a background in national security. He's held positions in the National Security Council and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. He's a smart guy. Trump says Patel is, quote, committed to helping ensure that law, order, and justice will be brought back to our country again, and soon, he said. But let's not forget, he's got to be nominated, or his nomination has to be confirmed by the U.S. Senate first. Patel will need to get the support of the Senate, and there's been some questions as to whether or not he can do that. You can bet there'll be some fireworks during the hearings. As for Christopher Wray, stepping down after 7 years of a 10-year term, he told his staff he wants to avoid dragging the Bureau deeper into the fray. Now, let's be honest. The FBI has been knee-deep in controversy for years now under Christopher Wray's leadership. So what's next? Well, Deputy Director Paul Abate will step in as acting director until Patel is confirmed, assuming that he's not confirmed prior to Donald Trump taking office on January 20th. President-elect Trump is promising to make the FBI great again, and getting Wray out of the FBI is a great start, I would say. Representative Jim Jordan reacted to Christopher Wray's resignation or announcement that he would resign as FBI director. Jordan, of course, the House Judiciary Committee chairman, says he sees Wray's departure as a positive development, citing several controversial actions taken by FBI under Wray's tenure. And he named some of those. For example, investigating parents at school board meetings. We all know how that went down. Labeling pro-life Catholics as extremists. Retaliating against whistleblowers. spying on congressional staffers, raiding the former president's home. The list is long. And Jim Jordan seemed to suggest that, yes, Christopher Wray, he's stepping down. It's the right thing to do. But he may not be finished with Wray. While Wray has previously denied some of the allegations, Jordan's comments underscore some of the distrust by many Republicans about the FBI leader. Despite Wray's impending departure, Jordan made it clear that his committee's oversight of the FBI will continue. He hinted at forthcoming reports that may shed more light on the Bureau's activities, suggesting that the scrutiny of Wray's tenure is far from over. What do you think about that? Do you hope that Jim Jordan and members of the GOP House will hold Christopher Wray responsible for some of the things that we think he probably was responsible for? Should the House investigate Christopher Wray? Or should they consider it water under the dam or under the bridge and move on? Move on to more positive things, move on to getting the goals of Trump 2.0 accomplished. It's kind of a hard one to reconcile, isn't it? To think about this, because, we would like to hold Christopher Wray responsible. We would like to not let him get away with some of the grievances, some of just the absurd things that he did under Joe Biden. But at the same time, you think, well, do we need to put the country through more investigations? Do we need to spend the money for more investigations? Do we just call it a day and everybody go home and start all over again? Jordan expressed support of President-elect Trump's nominee, Kash Patel. Patel has already begun meeting with senators, we're told, in preparation of his confirmation hearing. So far, it all seems to be good. There's just always these little reports, the anonymous sources, if you will, who are suggesting that there's some in the Senate and maybe even some GOP senators who aren't quite ready for Kash Patel to take over the FBI. Jordan viewed Wray's resignation as something that was inevitably going to happen. He said, when the president nominates someone to replace you, you got to go, man. And it was kind of curious, wasn't it? Because everybody knows that the FBI director has a 10-year term. And as I mentioned a minute ago, Wray is in year 7 of that 10-year term. So I guess he doesn't have to step aside. I'm assuming he could probably be forced to step aside, but who wants to do that? Or Wray obviously doesn't want to put himself through that. So when President Trump just announced that he was going to appoint Kash Patel to be the director, you got to know that deep within the FBI, they're thinking, well, where are we headed with this? We already have a director. He has 3 more years in his term. Christopher Wray is smart enough to know that he, although has a 10-year term, to a degree he's serving at the pleasure of the president. Because Donald Trump, it would not have been fun, would not have been nice, but eventually Donald Trump could have forced him out if it come to that. And I think Christopher Wray recognizes that. He's smart enough to understand that. And he decided, well, rather than stick around and wear out my welcome, I'm going to do the right thing, and I'm going to leave before Donald Trump can try to fire me. And that is the right thing to do. Christopher Wray, let's go back to Jordan's list of grievances here. Investigating parents at school board meetings. We know for a fact that Christopher Wray directed people within the FBI to harass parents who were simply asking some very pointed questions about what was going on in their kids' schools. We saw it happen. We saw it unfold. We saw him also go after pro-life Catholics. We saw, in the case of whistleblowers, in several different investigations, because these whistleblowers were Trump supporters and weren't just rolling over because Christopher Wray said that they should. We saw them stand up and push back. And the whole thing about spying on congressional staffers, I mean, we've all known that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the Democrats have used the FBI and the Department of Justice. They have weaponized that agency like it hasn't been done since Richard Nixon. And let's face it, Richard Nixon was a Republican. Richard Nixon did some things back in the day during Watergate that probably makes what Christopher Wray's done look like a choir director. But we can't have that. We can't have our judiciary being used as a political weapon. And we can't do it either. We can't allow Donald Trump to do that either. Kash Patel can't do it when he gets in the office either. Lot to consider, but it is a good day that Christopher Wray is going to just go away. That rhymes, doesn't it? Christopher Wray is going to go away. Your comments are welcome on the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Emails always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. Have you finished with your Christmas shopping yet? Well, I have some good news for you. MyPillow is glad to announce that their Christmas extravaganza is continuing. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98 when you use promo code Joey. And they're not going to last very long at this price. The famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. They're regularly priced at $119.98. Now, with promo code Joey, you can get them for $59.98. And the 6-piece towel set, these towels, you've heard me talk about them. They're very soft, but yet they are absorbent. Most times, you're not going to get a towel this absorbent. When you use promo code Joey, when you go to MyPillow.com or call 800-893-4059, you're going to get them for just $29.98 with promo code Joey. $29.98 for a 6-piece towel set. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-893-4059. Use promo code Joey to get the very best deal on every single item, and Merry Christmas to you. Just a month after Donald Trump's historic presidential victory, we are learning through a Fox News poll that more voters feel positive than negative about the election results, which is how it should be. This Fox News poll released yesterday, voters were given a list of words to describe how they feel about the election outcome, and at least half say that they're hopeful, 54%, or relieved, 50%, and just under half feel excited. So those three words, hopeful, 54%, relieved, 50%, and excited, 48%. Those are three good words. About 4 in 10, unfortunately, Democrats say that they're depressed, 40%, or angry, 39%, while about half say that they're scared or were surprised. Most Republicans feel hopeful. 91% of Republicans are hopeful. 90% use the word relieved. 86% said they were excited. While most Democrats are scared, 77%, angry, 69%, or depressed, 68%. These results are similar to how voters felt in 2016 after Trump was first elected. Though fewer are hopeful now, it was there were 5 percentage points more hopeful in 2016 than this year, while more are depressed as well. 10% more say they're depressed this time than 8 years ago. The decrease in the number of feeling hopeful and increase in those feeling depressed is primarily driven, again, by Democrats and some independents. Democrat pollster Chris Anderson, who conducts a Fox News survey along with Republican Darren Shaw, said the fact that hopeful is the top emotion about the election outcome mostly reflects the deep partisan divide in the country, but notably 1 in 5 Democrats is hopeful. While it's a stretch to say that means Trump can bridge the partisan divide, it may reflect that at least some Democrats think he can make progress in certain areas, most likely inflation and border security, the top voting issues this year. So what were those issues? Let's take a look at those. And Fox News, they did a great job of breaking this down. It digs into how voters think the Trump administration can and will handle certain issues and what the priorities will be. According to the 2024 Fox News voter analysis, 4 in 10 voters said the economy was the most important issue facing the country. No surprise there. We've been hearing that for a year now, that the economy is the economy stupid. And that, I've told you over and over, you're probably tired of hearing me say it, that was the issue that won Donald Trump a historic landslide victory, a victory that obviously Joe Biden and Kamala Harris didn't see coming, a mandate, if you will. That inflation, that economy and the inflation was the single most important factor to most people's votes. Both groups backed Trump by at least 20 points. The new survey finds that the economy still remains the most important issue. 34% said it was, with immigration and border security a distant second, 21%. No other issue, though, reached double digits, including abortion. Only 7% of people said that abortion was a top issue. And that, again, is the answer of why the Democrats failed so miserably on November the 5th, because they had put abortion at the top of their list. They thought people were going to respond to the abortion issue more so than they did. Voters are clear that Trump should focus on tackling inflation, as 60% say it's extremely important that he lowers the price of food, that he lowers the price of gas. Next, people want him to cut taxes. They are tired of sending such a large portion of their hard-earned dollars to Washington for them to just waste. Then next, that was followed by national defense, then deporting illegal immigrants, reducing the size of government, ending diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Almost 30% of people said that DEI needs to go, that there's no place for DEI in our federal government and in our country. Next on the list was decreasing aid to Ukraine, increasing tariffs, increasing aid to Israel, and cutting taxes for large businesses. The only issue to have partisan agreement is lowering prices, as nearly half Democrats, 49%, and a majority Republicans, 69%, and 63% of those identifying as independents, all of those groups think it's extremely important for Trump to get this done because it affects everybody. I don't care what party you're aligned with, lowering prices is something that every family wants and needs. Democrats' priorities, they came in at number 1, lowering prices, number 2, cutting taxes for individuals. For Republicans, it was lowering prices and deportation, while for independents, the top two were prices and cutting taxes for individuals. So the deportation, the immigration, was only important to Republicans, was not one of the top two among Democrats nor independents. Pollster Shaw said these data provide a blueprint for how Trump could win the first 100 days. He said get prices under control, ease the tax burden on individual Americans, and strengthen national defense. That's the list. Those are the top 3 according to this Fox News poll. But what do voters expect will happen on these issues under the Trump administration? Well, they came back and they did follow-up questions and they asked that. We know what people want. What do they expect will happen? Voters feel most positive about Trump's effect on the southern border, saying that he will make it more secure than less secure by 42 points. They're also bullish on public safety, saying that they think Trump will make the country safer as opposed to less safe. Voters are more pessimistic, though, about the administration's effect on democratic process, taxes, the national debt, and, of course, abortion restrictions are at the bottom of the list. Americans are split over what will happen with high prices. They want prices lowered, but I think they have an expectation. They know that it may not be able to happen within those first 100 days of Trump administration, which is a good thing. It's a good thing that people are realistic and they know that just by taking the oath of office on January the 20th doesn't mean that Trump's going to be able to turn the economy around that quickly and be able to fight inflation. Inflation that Joe Biden's reckless spending really fueled, that's going to be a tough one. And we all need to recognize that. But it can be done. But it may take a little longer. Democrats are most likely to think that prices, restrictions on free speech, and abortion, the national debt, and taxes will increase, while Republicans generally think the country will be safer and more democratic and the border more secure under Trump. Again, Democrats are more likely to think border security will stay the same. They don't think, Democrats, for some reason, they don't think that Donald Trump's going to do anything at the border. How foolish. They should know better. Your comments are welcome on the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Emails always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. If you've been putting off a visit to PhD Weight Loss, now's your time because it comes with an amazing free gift. Joey Hudson here. During December, the founder of PhD Weight Loss, Dr. Ashley Lucas, is giving the first 100 people to sign up for a consultation a free weight loss and energy supplement bundle. What a great gift. Do what I did. Take control now before heading into the indulgent holiday season. Get a grasp and avoid the holiday pounds. I dropped over 30 pounds and I'm not worried about parties and overeating because my PhD coach taught me coping mechanisms to help me enjoy holiday events without gaining the weight. Best of all, I never took a weight loss drug. I'm not dependent on a prescription. And I was never hungry. PhD Weight Loss is not about depriving yourself. Lose the awful belly fat, gain energy, and avoid weight-related health issues. You will feel so amazing about yourself and truly enjoy the holiday season. PhD Weight Loss. Ask about the free gift when you book your consultation. Call 864-644-1900. That's 864-644-1900 or go to myphdweightloss.com. Now, this was an interesting twist. Senator John Fetterman made a serious social media splash this week by becoming the first Democrat U.S. Senator to post on President-elect Donald Trump's Truth Social. Fetterman, I'm not sure what the man's up to, other than I think he recognizes what the political reality is. He wants to be reelected to the U.S. Senate from Pennsylvania, and I think he understands the message that the American people sent in this year's elections, and particularly Pennsylvania. His people helped put Donald Trump back in the White House. I think he understands that, and I think he's going to work with Donald Trump. But think about this. He sets up a Truth Social account, and in addition to using the platform, I'm sure some of his Democrat friends are thinking, what are you doing? But in addition to that, and really kind of taking a shot at the liberals, he turned heads with his claim that a condemnation of the legal cases against both Trump and Hunter Biden, that they both were BS. Now, he made this statement last week, but he just followed up with it by a post to Truth Social. His first post read this: "My first truth," he said. "The truth hush money and Hunter Biden cases were both bull, you know what, and pardons are appropriate," he said. "Weaponizing the judiciary for blatant partisan gain diminishes the collective faith in our institutions and sows further division," he wrote. Along with the statement, Fetterman shared a screenshot of a recent MSNBC.com headline which stated Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg responds to Trump's motion to dismiss hush money, and he goes on to make the case that it's all BS. I think John Fetterman, I think he got the wake-up call, don't you? I think we're probably going to be able to, he's going to be maybe the new Joe Manchin of the Democrat Party. I think John Fetterman, we may be able to rely on him to vote with Republicans sometimes when we may not be able to rely on some Republicans. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I shouldn't get too optimistic here. Have you been following the story of the drones off the coast of New Jersey? What is up with that? New Jersey Representative Jeff Van Drew said yesterday that very qualified and reliable sources believe mystery drones populating the Garden State skies are originating from an Iranian mothership parked off the U.S. East Coast. A claim, by the way, that the Pentagon has denied vehemently. Appearing on Fox News, Representative Van Drew told Harris Faulkner that they should be shot down immediately.
Now, Republican Congressman Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey, member of the House Judiciary Committee on the Hill right now. How do you address this at this point?
Well, here's the real deal, Harris. I'm also on the Transportation Committee, on the Aviation Subcommittee, and I've gotten to know people. And from very high sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources, I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off, I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones, is everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly. Now, we know there was a probability it could have been our own government. We know it's not our own government because they would have let us know. It could have been some really glorified hobbyists that were doing something unbelievable. They don't have the technology. But let's pretend that's possible. The third possibility was somebody, an adversarial country, doing this. Know that Iran made a deal with China to purchase drones, motherships, and technology in order to go forward. The sources I have are good. They can't reveal who they are because they are speaking to me in confidentiality. These drones should be shot down. Whether it was some crazy hobbyist that we can't imagine, or whether it is Iran, and I think it very possibly could be, they should be shot down. We are not getting the full deal, and the military is on alert with this.
Wow. Sounds pretty serious coming from a U.S. congressman, doesn't it? Now, there's been many of his colleagues, and overall the Biden administration has kind of poo-pooed the idea. They're not taking it seriously. Fox News chief national security correspondent Jennifer Griffin asked Pentagon spokeswoman Sabrina Singh during a briefing about Van Drew's allegations, and she said there was no truth to them. Adamantly insisted, ignore the guy. She said, there's no Iranian ship off the coast of the United States, and there's no so-called mothership launching drones toward the United States. Now, Van Drew's claims come as officials and state residents demand answers on these mysterious drones that are flying around up there. Major agencies remain kind of puzzled by what's happening, including the FBI. The agency is investigating the sightings and have urged the public to report any drones they see. There's video of these so-called drones, recordings of the drones soaring over homes at night with flashing lights with no apparent purpose. And it's been circulated in the news up there. Some have been seen nightly in some areas, and they've been spotted traveling in groups at times. Some, they say, are even the size of a SUV. That's a pretty big drone. Drone sightings have also been reported on Staten Island in New York. State officials have said that they're taking the mystery drone sightings seriously. But are they really? Are they really taking them seriously? Democrat New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy posted to X last Thursday that there's no known threat to the public at this time. Yet when asked about them, he says he really doesn't know what they are and understands the public's frustration in not knowing.
What can you tell us? What is going on, and why is it taking so long to come up with an explanation?
Yeah, it's a good, I don't blame people for being frustrated. It's really frustrating that we don't have more answers as to where they're coming from and why they're doing what they're doing.
Sounds like he's really concerned, doesn't he? That these drones are flying around his state. Nobody seems to know what they are. And again, if there's drones the size of an SUV, that's not a hobbyist. Some people have suggested, well, these are just kids out there. That's not a kid's drone. And the governor in his post saying there's no known threat to the public at this time. If he doesn't know what they are, how does he know they're not a threat? If they don't know whose drones these are, how do they know that they're not potentially dangerous? In a recent congressional hearing, Congressman asked the FBI to explain the sightings, and the FBI had no explanation.
Is public safety at risk? Are we concerned that there are nefarious intentions that could cause either national security or a public safety incident that would put Americans at risk?
There's nothing that is known that would lead me to say that, but we just don't know, and that's the concerning part.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are? Is that correct?
That's right.
That's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. That's madness that we don't know what these drones are.
Now, the key there is how he started that. There is nothing that is known that would lead him to think we're at risk. That's the problem. They don't know. They don't know what these are. So how, again, just like the governor, how can they say that they're not a threat if they don't even know what they are or whose they are? I mean, I think by now there's been enough spottings. There's been enough video of these lights flying around in the sky up there and flashing. I think we're beyond the question of, is there really something there? Enough people have seen them. Now it's a matter of, well, what is it and who owns it? And why are they out there? Even the White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, she was pressed on the question too. Doesn't know how to explain them, she says. Can't make any comments right now because they're investigating it, I guess.
Has the federal government ruled out that these are controlled by foreign entities?
Yeah.
And do you know if they're conducting surveillance over these
So
areas?
I cannot make any kind of predictions or comments about that specifically from here.
Can't make any comments. Don't know anything specific. But you know, we've had lots of reports of these drones, these SUV-sized drones flying around New Jersey. Don't worry about it, though. Don't panic. We don't want the public upset. Is this not the most absurd thing you've ever heard? I mean, should we be fearful? And look, I'm all the way down in South Carolina, so if they're contained to the New Jersey area or that New Jersey, New York area, I don't guess I should be concerned. But isn't it concerning that we have something flying around off the coast? And this congressman, I mean, he sounded as if he knew what he was talking about. Jeff Van Drew, I mean, he's not known as some quack. And he claims that with his military background and his service in the U.S. House, that some of the people that he's talked to are legitimate. And he's concerned about it. He's saying, let's shoot them down. I mean, why would you hesitate to try to take them out of the air regardless? I mean, if there's some hobbyist, by now, if you live in that New Jersey area and you've got a drone and you've been flying them around, you got multiple drones, you've been flying them around, you have had to have seen it in the news. And you might want to think, well, you know, maybe I should call someone to let them know that, hey, it's just my drones. It's my kids' drones. We're out here. It's a science project. Shoot them down. When in doubt, shoot them down. What are you going to hurt? You agree? Text me. Email me, joey@joeyhudson.com. Your comments are welcome on the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Emails always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. Speaking of the Firmin Ford text line, you know, it's never been more important to support locally run businesses owned by people who actually live here in the upstate. Let me take a minute to talk with you about our friends at Firmin Ford. If you're looking for a new vehicle, maybe a great pre-owned vehicle, one you can trust, or maybe you're looking to order that special vehicle. Either way, if you want a new one, a brand new one, or a pre-owned that you can trust, the folks at Firmin Ford, they're there to help you. Their name is on the sign because their name is on the line, because every single transaction is important to them. Jim Firmin, Matthew Firmin. They do business the right way. When you stop by, when you give them a call, or maybe when you just send them a quick email, you're always going to have access to a member of the Firmin Ford family. And by the way, they also offer great service, and you're not going to have to wait weeks and weeks to get it done. And you do not have had to purchase your vehicle at Firmin Ford. Doesn't even have to be a Ford. They service all makes and models. Visit my friends at Firmin Ford online at firminford.com, firminford.com. Let me take just a minute to give you our daily update on the assassination of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The latest is the gun found on the suspect who has been charged with the assassination-style murder of Mr. Thompson last week matches shell casings located at the crime scene, according to New York City's police commissioner yesterday. New York City Police Department Commissioner Jessica Tisch told reporters at a news conference in Staten Island the gun is now in the NYPD's crime lab, she said. And she said, we were able to match that gun to the 3 shell casings that we found in Midtown at the scene of the homicide. Ms. Tisch said that the NYPD investigators also matched the suspect's fingerprints with prints found on a water bottle there and an energy bar that was recovered at the scene too. A Kind energy bar had his fingerprints on the wrapping as well. That was an interesting thing to me. I get the water bottle, but I didn't realize that and I eat those Kind, K-I-N-D, bars from time to time, and they come in like a cellophane type wrapper, clear wrapper. I wasn't aware that type of material you could leave fingerprints out easily, but evidently his fingerprints showed up on both of those items. Meanwhile, I told you yesterday about his attorney, Thomas Dickey. He had a news conference yesterday, indicated that he is representing Luigi Mangione, the 26-year-old who's been accused of this and is being held in Pennsylvania. He is fighting extradition to New York. He said that they had yet to see any actual evidence against his client. He said the evidence includes writings, fake identification cards, and a gun. At the time, Dickey said that so far, though, and this was at his news conference, that there's no evidence that links that particular firearm to the murder. Now, that statement came just before Commissioner Tisch's comments to reporters just a few hours later that the shell casings matched the gun that was found on young Mangione during his arrest at the McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Dickey said, you can't rush to judgment in this case or any case. He's presumed innocent. Let's not forget that. And he's right. Our judicial system does have that presumption of innocence. But things are starting to add up. When he tries to discount shell casings, I mean, science today can tell you exactly what gun those bullets were fired from. The shell casings can tell you that. Speaking to CNN, Mr. Dickey said that, again, repeated the fact that he hadn't seen any evidence that they have the right guy. He said, while adding that his office has received offers from individuals to pay for Mangione's legal bills, the attorney said he would likely decline those offers. It's going to be interesting to see how long this guy sticks in there because, again, I get the impression he just likes the attention. We don't know for sure what type of arrangement he has with Luigi Mangione. I don't know if the guy can afford to pay him. And maybe at some point, Mangione's family tries to help him financially. But it appeared in the news conference that he was doing this on a volunteer basis, initially at least. It's going to be interesting when he has to, whether or not he's starting to be paid if he sticks with it. In his first public word since his arrest, Mangione yesterday yelled about, he said something like, this is an insult to the intelligence of the American people. I guess questioning the idea that the American people probably believes in his innocence. I don't know. Of course, we learned some interesting details about this young man. He's the grandson of a well-known Maryland real estate developer and philanthropist. His family is well off. And this kid has a graduate degree in computer science. He worked for a time for a car buying website. During the first half of 2022, he was in a co-living space in Hawaii where those who knew him said he suffered from severe and sometimes debilitating back pain that is speculated he received during a fall. His relatives have said in a statement that they were shocked and devastated when he was arrested and offered prayers to the Thompson family. Officials so far have not released a motive for the shooting, Although New York Police Department's top detective, Joseph Kenney, told CBS that the motive might have been related to the accident that he believes was July the 4th of 2023 because of some social media post. He had some writings online, and he had posted what appeared to be some images of X-rays, assuming that it was X-rays that he received upon being injured. The banner of an account on social media platform X that's purported to be Mr. Mangione's includes a photo of the X-ray image of a spine with pins or screws in it. Again, we're assuming that that's after his surgery. This is going to be a long, drawn-out process. And I promise you, we'll keep you updated as much as you want to be. Are you interested in this? You know, I love to get feedback from listeners. Is this a story that as we get new information, is it important to you that we share that with you? Is this something you want to talk about? Email me, joey@joeyhudson.com. Text me as well. You can text me. Or you can also leave me a message on the MyPillow message line, 864-477-5639. Just call the message line, leave me a quick message. By the way, anytime you go to MyPillow.com, always use promo code Joey to get the very best possible deal on those Christmas specials. Mike Lindell has some great specials right now, his Christmas extravaganza. So go to MyPillow.com, always use promo code Joey. For example, he has his wonderful, and I love them, you've heard me talking about, the MyPillow slippers. He rarely puts them on sale. Right now for Christmas, they're typically $119.98. You can get them right now for $59.98 if you use promo code Joey. So go to MyPillow.com or call 800-893-4059. Use promo code Joey and get the My Slippers for $59.98. He also has a 6-piece towel sets on sale too. They're back in stock for only $29.98. They're the softest, most absorbent towels you'll ever have. MyPillow.com, promo code Joey. It's another victory for law and order in San Diego County. You know, we've had a lot of these blue states who have said that they will defy any orders from the Trump administration on his mass deportation. In San Diego County, California, we've got a straight shooting sheriff there who's standing up to the radical left's dangerous sanctuary policies. Sheriff Kelly Martinez let the county board of supervisors know they can pass whatever kind of resolutions they want to. It's not going to prevent the sheriff's office from working with ICE to deport the illegals that are in San Diego County. She's not having it, she said. She's making it crystal clear. She will follow state law, which actually allows, and I quote, cooperation with immigration authorities when it comes to serious criminals. We're talking about people convicted of sexual abuse, child abuse, drug trafficking, robbery, murder. This kind of dangerous criminal that the radical left wants to try to protect in these sanctuary cities. Well, this sheriff says she's not going to do it. The county board doesn't set her policy, she said. She's an independently elected official, and she's going to do what she thinks is right to keep her community safe and do what the people of San Diego County elected her to do. That's it for today's edition of Just the Truth. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studios. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. If you haven't joined my mailing list yet, visit my website, joeyhudson.com. Click on the Connect with Joey button so that you can receive our emails and the most up-to-date news. Also, join me on my YouTube channel. Be sure and like, comment, and subscribe. Just search for Joey Hudson. As always, thanks for spending a few minutes of your day with me. Do me a favor and forward this episode to a few friends. Just click on the share button and send to your contacts. We need to build an army of conservatives to win our country back, and we can do that by continuing to share the truth with our friends and family. Keep those comments coming via the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. Email to joey@joeyhudson.com, and I love your messages on the MyPillow message line. Again, that's 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Be sure and take advantage of the MyPillow special, just $14.88 on the standard MyPillows when you use promo code Joey. Order online at mypillow.com or call 800-893-4053. We're back again tomorrow and hope you'll plan to join us. Until then, remember, God's got this. He's still in control.